future of data and evolving data center paradigms. And for this, I would like to invite on stage Mr. Kunal Dhingra, who is an IT leader with more than 18 plus years of experience in IT, currently working as CTO and Global Head Enterprise IT for Larsen & Toubro Infotech. Within LTI, Kunal has been instrumental in not only scaling up team and supporting exponential growth of business, but also has managed to create a holistic digital transformation across all areas of IT, whether it was network, security, cloud, EUC, or even employee experience. Before joining LTI, Kunal has worked with companies like Philips, Amazon, ITC, ENI, etc. Whereas in ENI and Amazon, Kunal was the first person to be hired in country and was responsible for building the function from grounds up. Along with his corporate roles, Kunal has also taken a stint in entrepreneurial journey. With this, please welcome him with a huge round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. I hope I am clear in queue. First of all, apology. You know Bangalore traffic. My session was supposed to be the earlier one, got stuck. I have tried creating some slides and I have tried not to put any color. We are talking about data, and all of us, at least majority of us, are engineers, and data is supposed to be 0 and 1, no color. So I have either kept it black or it is white. Can anybody read this out? We are collecting data and harnessing it to provide value to our customer. Do we do anything other than collecting data in IT? There could be 100 different sources, there could be 1,000 methods, there could be 1,000 machines, there could be 1,000 people, or talk about anything. In IT, everything means data. If there is no data, there is no IT. We are not harnessing people, we are not saving people. In security, we are just saving data. People who are saving people are standing on borders. But we in IT are saviors of data. And this is onslaught. This is a nightmare of an IT head, a CIO, a CTO. He's just struggling. He does not know from where the data is coming. He has to just make sure that he receives the data, consumes it, converts it into a meaningful output for their customer. Now, I don't want it to be monologue. Can anybody talk about how much data you have in your company? Any of you? You can put a wild guess on how many gigabyte, terabyte, petabyte, or no data. Sorry? That's all. You don't have any data then here. 4 terabytes, you can now keep it in your pocket. Sir, that is exactly the point is, you may have data, but unless you process it and converts into a meaningful output, the data is useless. And all of us should not focus on how much data we need to store. We have to focus on how much data we need to process, get it converted into an output, and how much data we need to back up. We just heard the previous speaker talking about keeping a backup of a data which is meaningful. So just make sure you do not get paranoid with the amount of data that is being collected. I have seen in my career, it is happening to us even right now, whatever data is available in the company, back it up. Why? Because this is a requirement by CERT today. Data किधर से भी आ रहा है, कहाँ से भी आ रहा है, Government of India doesn't care. Store it for 6 months. Dude, रख के क्या करूँगा, पता नहीं, बस रख लो. And imagine the data is coming from. We have created hundreds and hundreds of mobile applications. Finance tells IT, I need to digitize my business. Okay, yes sir. We would end up spinning up a ERP. We would end up spinning up thousands of applications for travel and claim and whatnot what. Then one day, admin comes to you, hey, I need to convert and digitize my department. Okay sir. and we run behind and start creating mobile applications. Now imagine what would happen. 5G is round the corner. We could be 5th or 6th country across globe to have a universal 5G across. The use of this mobile phone would again increase. We all should be thankful to Ambani's to create a digital revolution. 10, 12 years back, they said, "Kar lo duniya muthi mein." They gave phone to everyone. Few years back, they said, "Data free to all." What did it all do? We ended up spinning up data centers across India. India today has the, I think, least value of a GB of data across globe. But this would again go up. Our data would move away from being a static data to a video content. Nowadays, if you need to train a new engineer in company, and we are in people function, my ex-CIO used to usually use a phrase, in IT ES companies, we do not sell skills, we sell human kidneys. There are more kidneys, more blood getting pumped up, more code is being written, and that is how IT ES companies make money. This is what would end up happening. Today, all engineers want a video content for training. Nobody today sees a slide. अगर आप मेरे को PPT भेजोगे, thank you very much. I'm not interested. Send me a 1-minute video which can explain about your product. Send me a 1-minute video which can explain about my roles and responsibilities and what I'm supposed to do, what I'm not supposed to do. Last week itself, I participated in an event. To my surprise, majority of the suppliers, they were not presenting 20 minutes PPT. They had 2 minutes video. Please see this video and you would understand what we are trying to tell you. So this video content would suddenly increase. Now, sir, coming back to your thing, how would you know in the video itself what is the important content? In a PPT, you can take a backup of a certain slide. There is a 20-slide PPT, but if it is converted into a high-resolution video, what would you do with that data? That would create a paranoid for all of us. And all of this would get converted into digital advertising, which I just spoke. Then blockchain. You would not even know where the bloody data is. It is in my cell phone or his cell phone, or it is in your cell phone. It is there somewhere. It is getting authenticated, it is getting replicated, but where it is, हमको मत पूछो. Then final, which is extremely important. Everybody has got into habit of using Alexa. How many of you have Alexa or Google Home? And how many of you actively use it? Half of the hands have come up. We have it, we know there is an assistant, but we don't use it. Now, another question. I know there are lots of IT heads and CIOs and CTOs here. How many of you have a voice assistant for your employees in company? I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, sir. Yeah. There is a... No, sir, that is Alexa doing the work for you. I'm talking about specifically in B2B environment where our roles comes in as a head of IT or a CIO or the function head for IT. We don't even think the technology is available in B2C for ages now. But if today I have to apply for attendance or apply for leave, I still open up an app or a browser, still do the function one by one. But what do I do at home? Alexa, play Jaane Bhi Do Yaro. I say, hey Alexa, apply my leave. It's a small function, but this would come up. We in IT are little lazy. हम लोग follow करते हैं. We should be not against Mr. Gates and the MD of Apple, who said 7 years back that Indians are very good in cut and copy paste. ठीक है यार, हम लोग को आदत है. Technology बना ली है ना, बना लेंगे, करेंगे. But this would come up. And this would create one more paranoid because everything would be recorded as a voice translation. How would you save that data? What was recorded? Would you record my voice? Because now if you would record my voice, it is my PII data, sir. So what would you save? Would you translate into a text and then save the backup of that transaction, or would you save my voice? So this would create one level of data, one level of complexity for everyone. And now what to do? I don't know. I told you, I don't know. I have no answer on what to be done. Maybe I'm here to learn from you. If you have any best practice, I can go and adopt. But this is happening. The 0 and 1 is translating everywhere. It is coming from everywhere and it is going in every direction today. Key question, what do I know and how much I need? I don't know. Does anybody has an answer? Let's say example, we have 5 petabyte of data in the company. How much should be backed up? How much would it be critical backup of that data set? Is there any thumb rule? Anyone? Sir, can we put an average around on how much an IT need to back up in terms of percentage? Maybe he is the genius around, I need to sit with him, because whatever I know, you can't put a thumb rule around it. It is dependent on your industry. If I'm in a media industry, all my content which has been created is far more important than email. If I'm in a services company, all my emails are far more important than anything. If I'm in a product company, my crown jewels of the code is far more important than anything. But if I'm in a BFSI, every 0 and 1 is important. Udhar to kuch bhi lose nahi kar sakte. And then what do I do and what should I understand? Don't understand anything. Just do your work. Don't break your head around anything. Keep it simple. Keep it easy. Do not get complicated. There is a team called DPO. Let them do their job. They would tell you what needs to be done, but don't agree to them. Where do I keep? This is an important thing, and I'll explain it in one of my slides. How do I understand? What do I turn into information? How do I visualize? Again, the same thing. It all depends which industry do you belong to. Please do not follow what somebody like me or somebody from in any other forum comes and tells you and start adopting it. Please understand your industry actually defines and drives what is the final need. I met with somebody from a VFX company last week in the event. These guys have worked on a movie called Avatar. I think almost everybody would have seen it. According to them, just for one movie, they ended up creating almost a petabyte data that time. Today, storing a petabyte data, maybe I can put it in one rack. At that time, it could have been 20 racks. And now getting it converted into a final movie is a different thing. They had to literally store those 10 racks for 10 years. Keep it with them. Because they didn't know at what time, what clip would have been asked for rendering. It is the same thing. You need to understand and visualize what your customer would ask you to back up. Especially, and I'm coming back to ITES. Lots of ITES companies process customer data. There are lots of ITES companies like us. We don't process customer data. We don't keep any customer data with us. If customer says, you need to process our data, we would tell them, sir, we would come and sit in your office and work for you. Should I go and store customer data with me because I'm not processing? No, why should I? And that why and how and where is extremely important for all of us to understand. This is an old phrase all of us have heard. The data is new oil, but I believe data is not an oil. Oil would end. Oil would end, and that's the reason everybody is moving towards battery-driven cars. And the EVs are coming in. But data is new soil. It is on you on how fertile you can make your data. How much fertilizer you would end up putting, what kind of logics, what kind of machine learning you would end up adding, and convert into a soil. The output of the soil is dependent on the farmer working in the field. We are, some people say we are glorified plumbers, some people say we are farmers, some people say we are electricians, some people say we are mechanics. Okay, these are multiple forms of engineers. To hell with it, let's be proud of it. We have made the word go round and round for last 3 years. We have been making it, but just imagine one thing, and I would like all of you to clap after whatever I say. 2 साल बिजली नहीं गई किसी की, 24 घंटे घर में पानी आया है, किसी का इंटरनेट कभी चोक नहीं हुआ. Did it happen 3 years back? How many of you used to have electricity cuts in your apartment and houses, whosoever had stayed in independent houses? Water situation was worse across India. Internet was not that great. We should be proud of our ISPs. सब लोग घर पे थे, फिर भी सबका इंटरनेट चल रहा था. It happened because of all of us, yeah. It happened because engineers made sure people were at home. And I write in Hindi sometime, and I wrote a poem, and I'm just reciting one line out of it. Border पे वो खड़े हैं तो हम सो रहे हैं, but हम ऑफिस में बैठे हैं तो आप घर पे हो. We made sure people were working from home. And this is what it is. We made sure that soil was fertile. People could consume that data at a different place and the food was served on their plate. So please do not listen to what Mr. Ambani said, that data is new oil. He wanted to say it because he wanted to convert into a geo. For us, it is our soil. This is our mother. This is, a farmer goes and worships the land, right? Just because he says, Dharti meri maa hai. For us, our data is our mother, father, whatever you may want to call it. And you can't do anything with the data. You have to live with it. You can't go and kill the data. You would kill the data, but data would get reproduced again for you somewhere. And it is durable, but you have to make sure. You have to consume only strategic data. Do not get into a paradox of saving and consuming everything. You have to not only understand yourself, but also coach your teams that only important and critical data is needed. Whatever is getting converted, convert into a consumable format and only then use it. And big would keep on getting bigger and bigger and bigger. What was gigabytes one day? All of us used to put that 128 MB ka drive in our cell phones. At a point of time, that became 256, then 1 GB. Now you get 512 GB. Mobile phone, you never know, next year somebody will launch a 5 terabyte of mobile phone. You can keep it in your pocket. But can you process that much of data on cell phone? No. And this is an expectation from IT. And all of us know. I have not written anything which people don't know. It has to be on demand. मेरे को चाहिए तो चाहिए. किधर से लाओगे तुम ढूंढ के लाओ. And it has to be agile, it has to be elastic, it has to be secure. Any data which is not secure is no data today. We heard the previous speaker, security is paramount, but do not retrofit security in your data. Security has to be in the DNA. Your red blood cell and white blood cell are in your blood by default. White blood cells are not injected afterwards. It's not vaccine. And I don't agree to one statement which was made previously that security is like a vaccine. Security is not like a vaccine. Security can't be injected inside. Security has to be like the white blood cell, always in by default. And this is what we need to ensure. And challenges which we have, keeping up with the pace. The technology, the industry is changing far, far, far faster than what we can imagine. We just took an example of voice-enabled bots, or voice-enabled services. B2C, this has been available for, I think, 8 years, 9 years now. B2B in offices, nobody uses. The only thing people use in B2B and claim that we have consumed it in B2B, they still use the B2C service of Alexa. But nobody has ended up creating a platform on voice for their internal employees. And complexity on architectures. This would again increase. Whatever we used to do 15, 16 years back, and I'm not saying it is getting complex. According to me, this is getting easier. And I see lots of faces who are either of my age or maybe a little older than me. We used to write ACLs in CLI. If people are from Cisco background, our ACLs used to be in CLI. If anybody has done checkpoint, again ACL used to be CLI. 2003-4, or 6, checkpoint ended up creating a GUI dashboard. It made our life easier, not complex. Whosoever were earlier Microsoft MCPs and MCSEs like me, we used to actually write scripts. Then it became 100% GUI. It's the same thing. The people who are our system admins today used to do habit of doing still CLI. They understand the basic GUI, but whosoever are doing plain cloud, are getting onboarded on Azure and AWS of the world from day one, tell them to do any CLI command. They won't even understand. And now scripting has become a special skill. What used to be part and parcel of our life as a sysadmin has become a special skill. Now if you have to hire an engineer with scripting background, that person would say 3 गुना salary चाहिए sir तब आऊंगा. और अभी बट पुराने वाले बंदे को बोलोगे यार तू पुराना है ना 10% में काम चला ना. And that is a paradox which is creating complexity. And that is what as leaders we are not understanding. We are not giving enough importance to the architects who were with us from day one. We are looking at architects outside. You won't get anything outside, believe on me. And the biggest problem, we have heard of people process technology. And I have just replaced process with principles. So principles or processes. The processes are legacy, principles are legacy, and we want technology to figure out. Dude, technology would do what technology has to do, not the other way around. Go and figure out your processes. Simplify your process and technology would do its job. If you would keep complex process, technology would become complex. So simplify processes, technology would make it even simpler, and you would have lesser data to worry about. The solution? Cloud, 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 cloud. What is cloud? Is it some rain? No, cloud is very simple. Just imagine, there was a time I used to know where my servers are. This used to be in the room next to me, as sysadmin. Then there was a time all these servers were moved into my corporate data center, and my friend sitting in my other branch used to see all of them. Then there was a time these servers were moved to an ISP's room, and my old colleague who is working with that ISP still sees that server. Today, it's the same server, but I don't know where it is. This is cloud. Cloud is nothing. Do not get paradox with a word called cloud. Cloud is complex. It's just the same basic. It is still the same RAM, same processor, same hard drive, converted into a different form factor and presented in front of you. Is cloud only infrastructure today? No. Today it is infrastructure and some services built in and some platforms built in. But all of us still believe that cloud can only be either public cloud or private cloud. No, sir. A cloud means a true hybrid cloud when it is SaaS platform built into it, when it is security platforms built into it. Only then it is true hybrid cloud. And cloud is not complex. I'm again repeating, according to me, cloud is far more simpler. When I started this job with LTI 4.5 years back, straight away said, yeah, I'm a plain sysadmin, I'm a network guy, I can run and make you buildings, I can build campus. I don't understand cloud. It took me 3.5 days to understand I'm the biggest fool on this earth, who is not understanding that cloud is nothing. It's the same technology. It's just, I have a better GUI. I can actually process faster now. And the answers, it's very simple. How do I need? How much I need? Why do I need it? Why should I understand? Don't get into all this. Keep it simple. Do not ask so many questions to you. Things in life are not complex. Life is as complex as you want it to be. How many cloud solutions should I adopt? How many of you are using a true hybrid cloud or a multi-cloud environment? And I just see 2 hands, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many of you are on Office 365? And what if I tell you Office 365 within itself is multi-cloud? And that is what you need to understand. Please don't look at big jargons which industry is throwing at us. Look at the technology. Office 365 or G Suite within itself is multi-cloud. So all of us should be proud that we are using multi-cloud. And biggest important thing which would hit us very soon, people are saying AI and ML is a buzzword, AI and ML is a flop technology. No, sir. AI and ML would be next big thing. People would move towards robotics, but would robotics eat our jobs? No, it would create more jobs. You need to make sure that it is being consumed properly and where it has to be consumed. Then experimentation on make and break. Go and break as much you can, because we know we can make it. We had made it once, we would make it again. But unless we break something, we would not be able to make it better. And where do I keep? Should I keep it on low cost storage on cloud? Should I keep it on-prem? The decision is on you, not on anyone. Do not listen to EYs and KPMGs or Deloittes of the world and telling you, sir, cloud पे रख लो, सब कुछ अच्छा है. हमसे पूछो. हम लोग public clouds को साल का 50 करोड़ रुपए के ऊपर देते हैं just to save our data. And now we are thinking of pulling everything back because it is not making financially sense. So it all depends. Nothing is called low storage today. You have to understand how much storage and where it is important to keep. In your journey, start with very small. And all of us would have done it. I'm not going through this deck. All of us would have done it. Very small teams, small components would have started moving up. But what has it created? It has created so many subscriptions for us in our company. Sometime you need to now have architects to manage this. Right? I just spoke about emails. Everybody is on Office 365, G Suite. All of us raised hand. So move only commodity services if needed. Your business services should be the last to move out. And look at benefits which you can use from basic infra as a services sometimes. But again, cloud should not be considered as public cloud. I'm again constantly repeating. Your hybrid cloud, your co-located data centers should also be part of your overall cloud schema. Something is in mind, OPEX. CFO बोलते हैं, यार CAPEX खर्च मत करो, move everything to OPEX. कर दिया sir. अभी they are saying you are hitting my P&L. Guys, reduce the cost. Sir, कान ऐसे नहीं बस ऐसे पकड़े थे. Is that situation, right? Yes, somebody's ear would be holding. Yeah. So, but now, can you reduce that OPEX down? You have already started consuming it. The only way you can reduce it down is to go back and analyze what data is important. If the data is not important, pull it back, keep it in the server, keep it aside, and forget about it. Make it tough. I'm sorry. Now invest in cloud architects, more consonant. Yes? This is the question. How many of you, and this is my, I think, last slide, how many of you think hiring people is difficult? And how many of you think hiring good talent is difficult? And how many of you think retaining good talent is difficult? And can I give you a solution for all of this? Go and train your own talent. Go and train your own team. You need not to hire people from outside. टेक्नोलॉजी वाले लोग आसमान से नहीं आएंगे. वो यहीं पे थे, किसी ने ट्रेन किया, मैंने ट्रेन किया, आपने हायर किया, आपने ट्रेन किया, मैंने हायर किया. तो अपने लोग को खुद ट्रेन करके खुद ही रखो ना यार. क्यों बाहर जाने देते? You would not need these architects. Sir, I can proudly tell you for last 4 years, my attrition rate has always been less than 4 years, 4%. Whereas my company's attrition rate is 28%. I'm an ITES services company, and my IT is ITES for my company. The only reason we could do this is I made sure that every year, the engineers who are working on ground are getting certified. The certification which would have costed them 2 lakh, 2.5 lakh, 3 lakh, 5 lakhs, which would have gone from their pocket, was funded by the company. No, sir. Sir. Sir, I didn't add any budget in my own budget for training. I used a special skill. Mr. AWS, if you want me to consume your services, I don't have anybody. Mr. VMware, you want me to use Workspace ONE as a technology in the company? Sorry, I don't know. Please get people certified. We have been giving so much of a business to all the OEMs. Let's use them. And they are ready to and happy to fund us for training. If our people are trained, only then their services are getting consumed. So please use this technique. It could be helpful for all of you. It has been helpful for me for the last 4 years. I have everybody who was in the team on day one when I joined in my network team. Today, almost 80% people are CCIEs. Because we made sure they went through the grind, they learned every technology which we consumed, deployed, but parallelly they got trained and certified. And if somebody gets a higher salary, I'm more than happy to let them go. As leaders, it is our responsibility to make sure everybody who works for us is successful. Whether we make them successful internally or they go out and become successful, but people who do not understand the technology and still with us are far more harmful. Train people, let them go. Do not keep a crowd with you who are not trained. That's my philosophy. And with this, thank you very much. The bell rang twice. I didn't want it to ring third time.